I feel extremely honored to be here today in this most sacred of all places, at the very feet of Giriraj Govardhan and Sri Vrindavan Dham, in the presence of my beloved spiritual master Srila Prabhupada, at the sacred Pushpa Samadhi of my dear godbrother Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, who was actually the one who encouraged me to take sannyas and blessed me to approach the GBC for their permission. I'm honored to be in the presence of so many elevated godbrothers, god sisters, I also imagine, in the audience. It's just nectar sitting here and seeing one amazing personality after another just coming and appearing and sitting here, and I'm so much looking forward to their discussions that I'm going to keep my presentation very, very brief, which is something unusual, as my disciples will know. I was glad when I saw Shivaram Maharaj. He took out some notes to give his talk. I'm a scripted devotee. I prepared last night a little talk. So when I saw Maharaj had his notes, I felt comfortable. This is okay. But I just handed my notes back when Parthasarthi Maharaj arrived, because I want to hear him speak. And Gunagari Maharaj is another example of a very, very humble personality. When we were discussing in the room, who would speak, Keshav Bhari Maharaj said, just a few, keep it very short. It's already, 12:30 or something. But Maharaj declined, but I felt that Gunagari Maharaj in particular is in a position now to speak to us, and we should hear from him. So I wrote him a note and asked him to speak. And then Dinabandhu Prabhu, was my Parikama Guru, shows up, and Bhakti Vigyan Maharaj, who lectures I listen to often, and on and on and on. So I'm going to keep it very brief, but with a very suspenseful ending to my presentation here. I wanted Sri Krishna Prabhu to know that I'm very happy this ceremony is taking place, because we're going to be godbrothers of sorts now, because Shivaram Maharaj is also my sannyas guru. Yes, I retook initiation from Maharaj. I was glad Krishna made that arrangement. So, Sri Krishna, we're godbrothers of sorts now. It's just, Krishna consciousness just gets better and better and better. Yeah. You're already a sannyasi. This is a formality. Since the day I met you, I was impressed with your Krishna consciousness. You've lived the natural life of a sannyasi, again, since you were 5 years of age and had that experience and that dream. This is just the formality. So you will be a great asset to this International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Although generally a sannyasi travels and preaches. That's his dharma, that's his duty. He travels and reminds people about the purpose of life and how to achieve it. But we also have in Krishna consciousness Kshetra sannyas. Kshetra sannyas means a sannyasi who stays in one place and develops that project for the purpose of preaching Krishna consciousness. One time here in Vrindavan at the Krishna Balaram Mandir, Prabhupada asked to see two sannyasis. So they came in the room, into Prabhupada's room, and he began to instruct them, and he said to one sannyasi, so you travel now, you've been given your danda, you travel and you preach the glories of Harinam all over the world. And the other sannyasi turned to him and he said, you stay here in Vrindavan and you manage this Vrindavan project. So the second sannyasi was a little bewildered. I thought I was going to travel and preach. No, this is preaching, maintaining projects like this, where people who hear about the message of Krishna consciousness, they have to come and see how it's practiced. So what better place to practice Krishna consciousness than Sri Vrindavan Dham? And what a better place to come to the foot of Giriraj Govardhan, where Giriraj has given this palace to the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And what better devotee is there to manage this site than this renunciate, Sri Krishna Prabhu? So we look forward to your continued management of this place. All of us, when we do Govardhan Parikrama, without exception, we always wander in here and take advantage of this transcendental atmosphere. This is Giriraj as we like to think of Giriraj. Not all this big construction, and I heard there's a Radharani golf course coming up and all this. No, this is how the Giriraj atmosphere should look. Simple and sublime. And the main activity here is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Shmaranam. And he's perfect a devotee to represent that because he's so attached to hearing and chanting and remembering Krishna. So when we come to a holy place like this, Govardhan Hill, the best way to take advantage of coming to a holy place is to hear from the holy men who live there. And that way the Dham is revealed when we hear such wonderful discourses about Sanyas from His Holiness Shivaram Maharaj and the glories of a devotee from the mouth of Keshav Bharati Maharaj. Then we really understand the importance of and the value of what we can obtain from coming to such a place as Govardhan Hill. So when you come here, this is ISKCON's property. Prabhupada said ISKCON is non-different than his body. This is Prabhupada's desire. That's why it manifested. And when you come here, you should associate with the devotees like Keshav Bharati Maharaj. And, well, he's going to be traveling soon, but here's a sannyasi who's taken a vow to stay here. And that is to our advantage that he's staying here. He's going to travel also, but his heart is here. So when you come here, you can ask, is Maharaj, soon to be Maharaj, is here and take full advantage. I'll conclude there because I'm so much looking forward to hearing from Parthasarathi Maharaj. I haven't seen him in a long time. He's also a resident of Govardhan. He's like, he hides somewhere. I haven't even found out where he lives. I've tried to find out, but he's a real renunciate, a recluse, and he dies deeply. So many illustrious personalities to hear from. But I wanted, out of my appreciation for Sri Krishna Prabhu, for who he is, and what he's done, and what he will do in the future for this International Society for Krishna Consciousness, I wanted to give him a gift. Exchanging gifts is one of the ways in which we reciprocate and associate with each other. It's one of the loving exchanges mentioned in our scripture. And when you give a gift, Nectar Devotion says you should give a gift that it hurts a little bit when you give it because you're so attached to it. In other words, it's translated as you have to give something very valuable, something you're very attached to, because that shows your love for the person. You're giving something to that person which is extremely valuable, and it's an offering of love, and then they'll cherish that. So I was given a gift of love by a devotee named Fakir Mohan Prabhu. He was a well-wisher of ISKCON. He loved Srila Prabhupada, and he preached according to our philosophy, word for word. He was a member of Gaudiya Math, and he used to spend his the month of Kartik in Vrindavan lecturing on the holy name. There was a time when I think he lectured for 5 or 7 years on the same verse, glorifying the holy name, every day for 5 or 7 years. He would lecture on the same verse. He never repeated himself twice. He was so deep in understanding the Srinam Prabhu. And he was a friend of mine. I'm continuing to, he left this world. He's back home, back to Godhead, I'm sure. But he had a very important project which he wanted to be completed, which was to reestablish the ancestral home of Srila Bhakti-Vinod Thakur in Orissa. There's a village in Orissa. What is it called? Huh? Choti, yes. And the deities of Bhakti-Vinod Thakur, the family deities of Bhakti-Vinod Thakur, Sri Radha Madhava, little deities which you've seen, because Fakir Mohan obtained those deities from that place before it just became the village that it is now. He obtained those deities and he was worshipping them very nicely, as would be desired by Bhakti-Vinod Thakur. And he would bring those deities every Kartik and put them on our the altar at Krishna Balaram Mandir. So many of you have seen the beautiful Radha Madhava. And that is where the song comes from. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Ballabha. So very historical deities. So before Maharaj passed away, he said, Indradyumna Maharaj, please make sure the worship is going on nicely. It is going on nicely in Orissa. But reestablish, a temple there and have those deities there so devotees can come and take advantage of their presence and the ancestral home. So I'm working on that. But before he left, he entrusted something very dear to him, to me, and that was, because he was in the Gaudiya Math and his Guru Maharaj was a disciple of Bhakti-Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he entrusted to me this cloth, which was the original Sanyas cloth worn by Bhakti-Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur when he took sannyas in the early 1930s. You can see. It's inscribed here on the cloth because it was part of a museum for Bhakti-Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. It said the original sannyas cloth of Srila Prabhupada, Bhakti-Siddhanta Saraswati. So that is, yes. This was his dhoti when he took the sannyas. So I have cut a nice piece of that cloth. I've cut that cloth. I know Sri Krishna is so humble, he doesn't wear jewelry, but this is not jewelry. This is kripa, this is mercy. I put that cloth in that kavacha there, the original sannyas cloth of Srila Bhakti-Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. I put it in this cloth here. I asked Keshav Bharati Maharaj, would he wear this? He said, I don't know if he'll wear it, but he'll put it on his altar at least and worship it. But I would hope at least for this ceremony, and for however long as possible, he would wear this mercy around it, because Bhakti-Siddhanta Saraswati was the perfect sannyasi, as was our Srila Prabhupada. And this tadiya will give him spiritual strength and whatever is necessary to maintain his ashram, perfect that ashram, and spread the mercy of Krishna consciousness all over India and the world. So I'm going to ask Maharaj to hold on to this cloth and don't take any.
Me? No problem. I have to pass. I have to go to the bathroom.
Okay. So I'm going to present the original sannyas cloth of Srila Bhakti-Siddhanta. What a valuable jewel. How this came into my hands, I don't know, but I'm very glad to share it with Sri Krishna Prabhu.